Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that'll make you say, wait, what? Story 1. My husband trapped me into hosting his entire family. So my husband just completely trapped me into hosting his entire family for a sleepover when I'm literally drowning in law school exam prep. Let me paint you a picture here. I'm 31, I'm a law student in the middle of absolutely brutal exam preparation, and we've got 2 kids running around. My husband's family is visiting from Dubai, and they've got this gorgeous huge house out in the countryside. For the past 3 weekends, we've been driving down there to see them, which is totally fine. We even casually mentioned, hey, you guys are welcome to visit us in the city sometime. Just being polite, right? Well, tonight at 10 p.m., they suddenly announced they're driving up tomorrow and expect to sleep over at our place. 10 p.m. The night before. Our house looks like a tornado hit it, my kid has a morning soccer game that we can't miss, and I've got exams that could literally determine my entire future career. But here's where it gets really messed up. My husband, instead of handling this himself, comes to me in front of his entire family on a video call and goes, "Honey, my family wants to stay over tomorrow night, that's okay, right?" He's looking at me with these expectant eyes, his whole family is on the screen waiting for my answer, and I'm just sitting there thinking, what am I supposed to say? No, in front of everyone. So I weakly say okay, because what choice do I have in that moment? The second we hang up, I completely lose it. I tell him this was totally unfair, that he ambushed me, and that I can't handle hosting right now with everything I've got going on. I was so upset that I made him call them back and cancel the whole thing. He actually did call them back, but now he's acting like I'm this horrible, unwelcoming wife who embarrassed him in front of his family. But here's the thing, if he had just talked to me privately first, we could have figured out a compromise. Maybe they could stay one night instead of 2, or maybe we could have cleaned up together, or I don't know, literally anything other than putting me on the spot like that. His family is actually really lovely people, and I usually enjoy having them over, but not when I'm blindsided like this. Not when my house is a disaster and I've got the most important exams of my life coming up. My husband keeps saying I overreacted and that family should always come first, but I think there's a difference between putting family first and being completely inconsiderate of your spouse's situation. I mean, he knew how stressed I was about these exams. He knew our house wasn't ready for guests. But he put me in a position where I literally couldn't say no without looking like the bad guy. And now I'm the one who looks terrible because I'm the one who made him cancel. Am I totally out of line here, or was I right to put my foot down? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. My wife got me the wrong birthday present and I want to return it. So my wife just got me a birthday present that's completely wrong, and now I'm wondering if I'm being ungrateful for wanting to exchange it. For months, literally months, I've been talking about getting a new monitor for my computer setup. I've got this 27-inch BenQ monitor that I bought back in 2018, and I've loved it, but everything else in my computer setup has changed except that thing. I've been looking for sales, contemplating what I want, doing all this research, and I've been pretty clear about what I'm looking for. I want something bigger, definitely want a higher refresh rate, and color accuracy matters to me since I do some photo editing. I'm not a dual monitor kind of guy, I just want one really good one. At some point, my wife asked what I wanted for my birthday, and I told her straight up, a new monitor. I even sent her links to a few specific ones I was considering. Well, my birthday comes around, and she gives me this monitor that's not even close to what I was talking about. It's smaller than what I currently have, it's got a lower refresh rate, and it's clearly just some random budget monitor she picked up. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate that she got me something, and I know she was trying to be thoughtful, but it's like, imagine if someone spent months talking about wanting a specific type of car, showed you exactly which models they were considering, and then you bought them a completely different car that doesn't meet any of their requirements. That's how this feels. So I thanked her, of course, because I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but later I gently brought up the idea of maybe exchanging it for one of the monitors I had actually been looking at. And she completely lost it. She started crying and saying I was ungrateful, that she spent time picking it out for me, and that I should just be happy with what she got me. But here's what's really frustrating, the monitor she got me is actually more expensive than the ones I was looking at, so it's not like I'm trying to upgrade to something pricier. She somehow managed to spend more money to get me something that's objectively worse for what I need. And now I'm stuck with this thing that I'm never going to use because it's actually a downgrade from what I already have. I tried explaining this to her, but she's taking it as this personal attack on her gift-giving abilities. She keeps saying that the thought is what counts, and I get that, I really do, but what thought went into completely ignoring everything I told her about what I wanted? It's like she heard "monitor" and just grabbed the first one she saw without paying attention to any of the details. I feel bad because I know she was trying to do something nice for me, but I also feel like she wasn't really listening to what I actually wanted. And now I've got this expensive paperweight sitting on my desk, and every time I look at it, I just think about how it's not at all what I need. Is it really that wrong to want to exchange a gift for something you'll actually use? Story 3. My family ditched our NYC trip, so I went alone. So I just graduated high school and my entire family basically bailed on our planned trip to New York City, so I said screw it and went by myself. Let me explain this whole mess. After I graduated, we were all supposed to go to NYC together, me, my 3 siblings who are 23, 20, and 17. My parents couldn't come because of work stuff, which was fine, we understood that. We'd been planning this for months, and I was so excited because I'd never been to New York before. We decided to take the train since it wasn't too far, and we agreed we'd all split the cost of the Airbnb. I was going to be the one booking everything since I was apparently the most organized one in the family. So I'm doing all this research, finding the perfect place to stay, looking up train schedules, making lists of things we wanted to see and do. I'm putting in all this effort because I'm genuinely excited about this trip with my siblings. But then, as we're getting closer to the date, my siblings start acting weird. First, my 23-year-old sister says she might not be able to come because she's got some work thing that came up last minute. Then my 20-year-old brother starts hemming and hawing about whether he can afford his portion, even though we've been planning this for months. And my 17-year-old sister just keeps making these comments about how NYC is probably going to be boring anyway. I'm starting to realize that nobody actually wants to go on this trip except me. Like, they all agreed to it originally, but now that it's actually time to commit and pay for stuff, everyone's suddenly got excuses. So finally, like 2 weeks before we're supposed to leave, I just asked them straight up, are we doing this or not? And they all basically admit they don't really want to go. 2 weeks before. After months of planning. I was so frustrated and disappointed because this was supposed to be like a celebration of me graduating, and also just a fun sibling bonding experience. But instead of just canceling the whole thing and being miserable about it, I made a decision that apparently makes me the selfish one in my family. I decided to go by myself. I kept the same Airbnb booking, bought my train ticket, and planned out a whole solo itinerary. And you know what? It was amazing. I had the best time exploring the city on my own, going to museums, trying different foods, seeing Broadway shows. I did everything I wanted to do without having to worry about anyone else complaining or not being interested. But when I came back and posted pictures on social media, my family completely lost their minds. They're saying I'm selfish for going without them, that I should have just cancelled the trip entirely, and that I made them all look bad. My siblings are acting like I betrayed them somehow, even though they're the ones who backed out at the last minute. My parents are saying I should have been more understanding about my siblings' situations and that family trips are supposed to be about spending time together, not just about going places. But I'm thinking, why should I miss out on something I was really excited about just because everyone else changed their minds? Was I really supposed to just stay home and be disappointed because they couldn't get their act together? Story 4. I refused to wake my brother up for his driving test. So my brother just completely missed his driving test because he stayed up gaming until 3 in the morning, and apparently that's somehow my fault. My brother's 22 and I'm 20, and we both still live at home. He had his driving test yesterday morning, and he'd been talking about it all week because he already failed once before. So you'd think he'd take it seriously this time, right? Wrong. The night before his test, this guy decides to stay up until 3 a.m. gaming with his friends. 3 in the morning. Before I went to bed around midnight, he literally looked at me and said, "Make sure I'm awake by 8. And I told him straight up to set some alarms because I wasn't planning on being responsible for getting him up. Like, dude, you're 22 years old. You should be able to wake yourself up for important things. Next morning, I get up around 7:30 for my own classes, and I can hear him still fast asleep in his room. Part of me thought about waking him up, but honestly, I was still annoyed that he'd stayed up so late when he knew he had this important test. Plus, I'd already told him the night before that I wasn't going to be his human alarm clock. So I just got ready for class and left. When I came home that afternoon, all hell had broken loose. My brother had woken up at like 10:30, completely missed his driving test, and now he has to wait another month to reschedule. And somehow, according to him and my parents, this is all my fault. He's going on and on about how I should have woken him up, how I knew how important this was to him, and how I'm a terrible sister for not helping him out. My parents are backing him up, saying I should have just taken 5 seconds to knock on his door, and that siblings are supposed to look out for each other. But I'm thinking, are you kidding me? This is a grown man who made the conscious decision to stay up gaming when he knew he had a driving test in the morning. He asked me to wake him up instead of taking responsibility for getting himself up. And when I told him no, he didn't bother setting any backup alarms or asking our parents or doing literally anything else to make sure he'd wake up on time. Now he's acting like I sabotaged him on purpose, but the truth is, I just didn't want to enable his irresponsible behavior. If I'd woken him up, he would have learned nothing from this experience. He would have just continued to rely on other people to manage his responsibilities for him. And let's be real, if the roles were reversed, there's no way he would have woken me up. He would have said it was my own fault for staying up too late. My parents keep saying that family helps family, and I get that, but at what point does helping become enabling? He's 22 years old, and he still expects other people to wake him up for important appointments. That's not normal adult behavior. Maybe missing this test will finally teach him that actions have consequences and that he needs to start taking responsibility for his own life. Am I wrong for thinking that sometimes the best way to help someone is to let them face the natural consequences of their choices? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.